So good evening and welcome to Halo-ween on the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We are coming to you live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, and we've got a beast on the way up, a well and a truly nasty piece of work that could potentially threaten to tear our riders limb from limb on the way round. It has to be said, there's plenty of people already scared about this route because this is potentially the toughest route we've done on the Donny Chaingang, and I've got to apologise now. It is all my fault. Actually, I'm not sorry because we've got to do some tough stuff. It's the Donny Chaingang. It's not meant to be easy. Standard format, of course. Going to go to the halfway point, and then we're going to go, and we will then be looking to see who is going to come across the finish line first, and then follow all of our riders in. Now, the routes are going to be coming up shortly, but what we do have before we move on to our route is a really simple draw that we've got to make. It's really easy because we have the members of the Donny Chaingang, and we have our fantastic supporters, Halo. Don't forget, you can go on to halowheels.com, and they are giving away to the people who support the Donny Chaingang. So those people who are members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, they're the people who keep the show on the road, who basically keep Russ's wheels turning in the virtual world, and mean that we can keep on bringing you show. Well, we have got a draw now. We're going to be pulling, first of all, draw for £50, then for £100 today, and then on Thursday's ride we'll be pulling a draw for £200, all to be spent at the Halo-ween shop. We've also got extra discount that's going to be coming out to our members during the course of this week. That's a special extra discount as well for the members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. If you're not a member, don't forget, it's not just about the giveaways. You also get big discount codes in there. You get special options of getting into events. We also, of course, give you all of the links straight to your inbox, so you get that priority in to the ride, and most importantly of all, you're helping us keep the show on the road and keep on bringing you the Donny Chaingang week in, week out, no matter what happens. So let's go straight across to the giveaway draw. Now, as you can see, the numbers are rolling. Out of the members, the people who've contributed this month and on the yearly at the moment, that is going to be a total of 88. So you've got 1 in 88 chance to win the first prize. You've got 1 in 87 because just like old school, it is one rider, one prize. So when we stop the button, I'm going to very quickly flick across the screen from the numbers, and just a little bit further off screen, there is the database of the members. All the members are numbered from number 1, and that is an A for the first name, down to 88, and that's an X in the first name. So from A to X, we don't have anybody with Y and Z at the moment as their first name. So if you are, you could get in there and actually give us the full alphabet on the run through. So 1 in 88 chance. Let's see who's going to be the very first to grab a prize. So let's stop the random number. It's at number 57, and number 57, that is going to be Maz Hevron. Maz, you just won £50 to spend at the Halo store. So well done to Maz, one of our key supporters on the Donny Chaingang. And so Maz, the very first winner of the £50 prize. So we're going to start the machine again. Let's get it rolling, and we'll just see where it's going to stop for the very next one. The next one is for £100, so £100 to spend at halowheels.com. Press the button, and it's 79 this time, and 79 is going to be Stefano Borelli, a key supporter of the Donny Chaingang. So Stefano, you got £100 to spend at halowheels.com. Don't forget, both these riders now ineligible for the very next draw. That's going to be on Thursday, so they are not going to be eligible for the draw on Thursday. That means that it's going to be an even better odds for our riders. We've got more great draws coming up, of course, with Oti, with the guys from Gritty, and we've also got the 12 DCGs of Christmas, but they're open to the members of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club for keeping the show on the road and keeping us rolling. So congratulations to Maz for the £50. Congratulations to the of course, to Stefano, who is the winner of the £100, and we are going to be moving on to what should be, hopefully, our riders who should, in theory, be lined up on the start line. Looks like they are. We've got about 6 minutes to go. So you can just see the riders all just starting to go down into the pens here on Mercury Islands. Let's see if we can catch up with the one and only Bear, with Russ Downing. And we're going to just try and see if he's on the end of the phone line now. In theory, this is going to be super smooth, and he's going to be just there. In practice, this isn't always the case, but as you may know from watching, but we'll see if we've got the Bear on the end of the line. Hello, Russ.
Hey up.
Hey up. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Just turned you off on one channel and turned you up on the other.
Oh, it's multitasking, mate. That's the name of the game every time. Multitasking, mate. 2 prize winners already, 2 key supporters of the Donny Chaingang, who have looked after the Chaingang and have helped us bring the Chaingang to everybody. And we've got a big draw, of course. The biggest note, but the biggest prize is on Thursday for £200 off the on the Halo site, and of course extra discount for our members as well. So great to see the support from Halo. They're brilliant. I know you regularly riding the wheels.
Regularly, yeah, that's all I do ride. They've been looking after me now for, I think 3 years or something now. So, what they've done with the Chaingang's been ace. They're there every month. They up the code when they come on board. They love the Halo-ween week, however you want to say it. We've got to do some abbreviation for that, so It makes it easier. But two good winners there, and so look forward to Thursdays for the big prize.
Yep, with £200 and all as well. It can be used with the discount as well, so that's really going to help people. And great to see our winners already in there. The random number generator will be back in action, of course. Now, before we go too much further, I'm going to say sorry to you straight away because it is all my fault. We are going to be heading up a dirty big hill, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4. Actually, it's 5 times up the hill tonight. Sorry.
Sorry, but not sorry, I think, by the tone in that voice, Matt.
Definitely, mate. I'm looking forward to it. But that's easy for me to say. I'm just watching.
Yeah, you've got a comfy seat on that bike there in that office, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I tell you, mate, they're a really nice pair of shoes, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, just take them off, mate. Put your slippers on.
I tell you, well, I might have to by the end of this one. Actually, I'm not. It's, I think I am well supplied. There's about 3 lots of Grand Tour coffee lined up, 3 OTE bottles plus everything else. We'll see what's going to happen as we go on from here. But looking forward to seeing who is able to take this on and who was listening and got themselves a faster bike, because, of course, the gravel bike is the way to go. It's faster than the Tron by about 45 seconds per lap on this, so going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to have a word with the Zwift and say they need to put the Pinarello gravel in the game, because I'm probably going to get sacked tomorrow because I'm actually riding a Canyon.
Sorry, we didn't hear that, did we?
Did we?
No, of course not. But you know what? Call it market research, and you can give them some feedback, and then it's not too bad.
It's called panicking, mate, and just riding what everyone else is, so I don't get my head kicked in.
Well, good luck with that one, because this is going to be a tough one. With 2.5 minutes left, mate, we'd better let you get on to the riders. And guess what? I think it is time for me to show the riders what's in store. So we'll hopefully catch up with you later, as long as you're not spitting too many feathers at that point.
Yeah, good luck, everybody, and I think I'll need some good luck. So, it's all good.
All good indeed. Thanks very much to Russ. Let's show you where we're heading tonight. This is Mercury Islands. This is the Spirit Forest route. This is predominantly off-road, reflecting the fact, of course, that Halo cover wheels for everybody, whether you ride off-road, on-road, and it's going to be pretty tough stuff, because we have a long leading. With the longest leading is actually on the Mercury Islands, and that is 5.6k from the pens. So don't believe what it says starting at the red. It starts actually within the pens. We then work our way through and on to the climb. We work our way up, and this is a figure of 8 course, so this is going to be really interesting. So we basically come up through the middle. We come up and around the top. We go around in an anti-clockwise loop, then it's a clockwise loop, and then it's an anti-clockwise loop, and then it's a clockwise loop. Now you think that's not too bad, but 670 metres, and now it's time to let the cat out of the bag to Russ, because I'm not sure he knows whether this is the case. That's actually the same amount of climbing that we had on Climbers Gambit. On the way around Climbers Gambit, that was 27k. This is going to be just shy of 40k, and it's gravel. So I hope you're in for a long one. This is going to be very, very entertaining indeed. If you wonder why I'm chuckling away, well, key to this is what I know Vin Donny, who are Red Beacon and Russ, have both had a little bit of a sneak preview of, because this is the course. Translate that into your figure of 8. Basically, we join it in the bottom left-hand corner. We then go up and across the section in the middle. We climb up to the top and drop down the upper loop, and we go around the upper loop in an anti-clockwise direction, and then come back across the middle, then drop down around the lower loop in a clockwise direction, then back up onto the upper loop. Now, the leading takes us up to the top of the Temple KOM, and that is where the finish line is. We then drop down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I think that's 4 full laps plus the leading, basically. So it's going to be tough stuff today. It's off-road as well. Our riders are lined up and ready to go, and it looks like to me like they're just about rolling out from the start line here, and you can just see Russ just making his way in with the gang as we head out here on Zwift. Remember, all of the rides on the Donny Chaingang online, all coming to you because of the fantastic platform that is Zwift. Let's take a little bit of a look at Russ. Oh, look at that. We've managed to get 10 ride-ons in one ride. That's very nice. Thank you very much. Very difficult when you don't actually go anywhere with the avatar. So, Russ heading out. Russ's heart rate at the moment, 103 70 beats per minute, 154 watts. So that's really high for us, just setting out. 100 revs per minute. And at the moment, those riders just making the way out from the pens. Let's take a little bit of an aerial view, just trying to check that everybody has made it out in one piece. Don't forget, top of your screen, watts, revs, heart rate of the rider we're watching, who we're watching right across the middle, map, top right-hand side, and it looks like everybody but our beacon, but our avatar just in there, and looks pretty good. That person who's left in, that's always our full speed events avatar. Doesn't get to go anywhere except when we do a time trial and get spat out of the way. Far right hand side, as you watch down, you can see that we're watching Russ at the moment in the blue, and looks to me like pretty much everybody out of the centre of the course. Just going to take a little bit look. Looks like Russ actually just been distanced out of the ride there. So we're going to go back in and try and get hold of Russ. So we got back into Russ here. We're going to go see who else we can get. But it looks like Russ just being dropped out of the pack, so we can go back to our sneaky little get into the ride again. So it looks like Russ at the moment just disappearing off from the ride. Not much fun for us, as you can see by the mad panic on Matt's face going, ah! So let's jump in. We're going to jump in with Mr. Drabble, and no doubt Russ will be back in with us. He's already going for a little bit of a quick run, so let's leave me in the studio. Let's dive into the ride as Russ manages to rejoin us at full bore, hopefully, and make his way up into the pack live here on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel. We have the Donny Chaingang on what could be its toughest day. So here we go. Just having to take a little bit of a look. A bit of a move. Touched me to follow Russ the one day that he disappears off, out and back in again. Just keeping a little bit of a look. So plenty of people, I'm sure, going to be volunteering to jump in. As you can see already, tough stuff for our riders. They make their way up. Russ disappearing off out of the current ride and into another one. It's quite impressive, that. It's good skills. However, here we go. The gang just making the way out. This is our run-in. In a minute we'll be up onto the course proper. So basically you'll see our riders as they join, take this next straight on section. That's when they're going to join the course proper, and we're going to be heading up into Spirit Forest. And this, of course, for Halo-ween, which is always an interesting moment on the Donny Chaingang. You can see that Carl Kapinski's back in the gang with us, one of the people who's in that draw as a member of the DCG gang. Carl, of course, the artist whose fantastic artwork is sort of right on the front. Now, let's take a little bit of a look at who didn't get the memo. Mr. Richardson being brave, disc wheels and an aero frame with 670 metres of climbing and hardly any flat sections of road at all. Don't forget, of course, as a member of DCG gang, read those instructions that we send through the write-up of the routes. Very, very telling. It tells you exactly where we're going and what the climb is. Now, you may recognise this because it looks like we have so Mr. Senior here, was Senior in the gang here. Steve G just in the gang. I think Donny Hughes still doing our ride, and just seeing Mr. Coyle at the moment. I'm just wondering whether he's just changed bikes onto a gravel. No, he's still on deep rims at the moment. Let's take a look up and through. So key bike today is to have a gravel bike, and don't get, of course, Halo key on that off-road, whereas you just see the deeper rims along with the fatter tyres absolutely work. So it looks like he's changed just before the start, and then it's gone back. Not good news. Just keep it an eye on west at the moment. That's Leopold. Good to have you with us, Leopold. I hope that you've got the right. Oh, look at this. You see, those look to me like a good Swift bike here. So I think there's going to be a bike change gruppetto. I think you're not wrong there. Anybody who didn't do a bike change is now going to be going, what have I done? Let's take a little bit of a check on the man from 1080s there. Yeah, just seeing one or two people doing a bit of a panic bike change a little bit further back. Let's see what Mr. Doubtree's on. Is he on a gravel bike? He certainly is. Now, just having a little look who's this is Pick, who didn't read the memo of the Donny and Chaingang, who didn't work out which route they were doing and do the homework. Don't forget, we do all the homework for you if you're a member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, because we tell you what bike you're going to need if you're going to be in the mix as we go riding up, because the gang, so a gravel chain gang. And now one man who should knows his off-road inside out is the man who I had the pleasure of being up at Falkirk with, Neil, joining the chain gang again, was riding up north. So let's take a little look. Looks like Neil also on a gravel bike as well. Now this could be interesting because the speeds are going to be very, very different. Now when we've seen this in action, things have been we did a little bit of tests on here, and the timings, we reckon that the leader's time should be inside that hour mark, dependent on the pace early on, and it does depend, so it could be yes, Simon Runnett's coming. I'm loving this. It's going to be really interesting. Is it have you ever ridden on the Staffordshire roads? This is normal for you. I think it's normal for a lot of people today. Just seeing Stefano Borelli on a gravel bike here as well. Cyclocross for those old school, basically, is here. Our winner, of course, of the £100 off at our fantastic sponsors as well. Now, is it flat? Does it look flat? No, the answer is no. Here then, if you remember the course profile, now we just take the right hand turn, and this basically is where we cut across from one side to the other. Just having a look at Mr. Woodall's bike. Let's see what Mr. Woodall's on. Looks like everybody kind of working out very, very quickly that it's going down. Mr. Kroll has not changed. There are a few people still on Tron bikes, and they are about 45 seconds slow for the same effort per lap. Per lap. Not just once, not for the whole lot, per lap. Can you afford to lose that? Let's see now. Can the guy get themselves back into yellow? It's quite a long way back off the front of this circuit. Just taking a little bit of a look at some of these roads up here, and just the call coming just to knock the pace off on the front just a little from Russ. Well spread out on here, but this is really a true test because the watts per kilo here are actually more critical than just pure power. So just taking a run back. Our riders well spread out here. Looks like a couple of people just behind Russ, I think, and behind our beacon, potentially just doing a bit of a change or jumping in late. That's one Tron bike being changed, one crease. So let's take a little bit of a check. So let's run with Mr. Donny for a little bit, just see how he's getting on. So it looks like the entire front backing off the pace, just trying to get the gang back together again. This looks like Julie Leonis is back in with us once more. Mark Thorpe, Pete Drabble in the gang. Can see Carl Briggs coming back. Eddie Dench in. The regular is Eddie Dench. Got Dixon, Backlots, Coils back in the mix. Rob Wimble, Craig Genther, Shelley Childs. Pretty much a full house here now. Let's see what bike Robert Taylor has changed to. Still on the bike there, on the Tron bike now. Looks like Matt Crease doing also on that Tron bike, just trying to get himself back onto the gang. Shelley's just dropped at the moment, and looks like Shelley, I reckon that's going to be a bike change for Shelley. So just working our way back up again. So Donny, so the bunch at the moment still all changing bikes. This is where we're going to make our way in towards these turns. Can't see because of the tree cover, so let's get the drone up in the air. We can just about dodge the trees. We take our left hand turn here. Remember, we finish up at the top of the Temple KOM. Rob Taylor's got a puncture, mate. That's not good news. Maybe a heavy duty to your tyre, so it looks like a puncture. Now, be warned, we do expect you to fix it and get back on again, because we have seen Neil do that on the way round on the stages in France. Just start watching these riders on the way back coming through. So this is the climb now up into the Temple KM. This is the first 5 ascents. So here we go. The gang in here. Looks like the Spirit's already out and about here. So Vin having to put some mega power on the back, trying to get into this group at about 4 watts per kilo to stay with the back. Everybody feeling it's so slow. They're pushing really, really hard. So let's keep a check on these riders. Very, very interesting as these riders come up here and just riding the way through the Spirit Forest. You can see all of our spirits floating up and down above the riders. Of course, this is for Halo-ween here on the Donny and Chaingang. Halo-ween definitely taking its toll on some of the riders' bikes already. The group not too bad, not too spread out. Just taking a little bit of a check on the group. Well, nobody being spirited off just yet. The group just about holding together on its way up here, and you can still see 1 or 2 people not on a gravel bike here, going for something slightly different, and definitely a risky strategy. Now, you could use a mountain bike for this course, and in fact on the descents it's actually quicker using the mountain bike, but you'd have to be a pretty confident climber to do that on the way through. I personally wouldn't choose to do that. I go into the slightly bigger size category, and that means that it's all about, for me, making sure that the uphills are as easy as possible, because I know I'm pretty confident on the way down I'm going to be able to stay with the riders. This track here with the Chaingang only just wide enough for all of our riders, just making the way around these turns at the moment. You can just see that group just splitting. Remember, we are going up towards the top of the climb here. So let's take a little look as we come up. We've still got 2 or 3 turns. So it looks like Russ just giving everybody tickets. It's always interesting when our riders suddenly come onto a different course. It really does shake people up. I think we've got Lauren O'Brien in with us to see Lauren in the gang as well. Now, what sort of bike is Lauren on now? Lauren on deep rims. That's definitely not a gravel bike, so we'll get the advantage on the road. One of our lighter climbers, Lauren. So interesting to see Lauren going for the standard road bike. Let's have a little look through who else is in with us. A real mix of riders. Can see Shelley Charlton in, Dave Greenwood in, Matt Crease is in here. I think Big Tez has made it in to the gang. Let's give a check. Yeah, Tez in here. Can see Mr. Taylor in there. Looks like Vin Donahue, and I think Vin, aka Sir, is going to have a busy bus by the end of this route, because it isn't going to take very many prisoners this course here. So our riders coming up to the top of the climb. You can just see if we zoom in that group, not too spread out at the moment. We're going to be heading in and across. I'm good to see that Mr. Bass is going, I'm loving Matt's 1 hour prediction. Well, it has been done, and it has been done racing, so and it's been done riding as well, so I'd be very interested to see. Of course, we don't know whether it is a flyer, so we'll see how the guys get on today. I know we've got some big hitters in the gang, and I think that is going to take its toll. So our bigger riders are able to push on the flat and on the descents. This section, actually, as you come in between the bridges, well, actually you tend to find as you come around this arch and around the side here, it's basically flat now as you come round and into the arch. This is the top of the Temple KOM. So this is our lead-in done. We have 4 full laps when our riders hit the line this time. You might be here some while. Because the OCE bars are on offer. They are indeed, and extra discount, of course, with the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG gang. You can just hear those wooden boards as our riders go over them. So it's like Big Tez just pushing on here, Tim Leary, Richard Langmead on here. So this is where we have one more little kicker before we start to drop down. Just watching Richard Langmead in here, in with the group at the moment. So just pushing his way up through the cycles. We've got Sonia Uzi, no stranger to riding off-road in the group. So the pack starting to kick up dust now on to the bigger descent. This is the 7% descent here, up to 9% at the moment. Just riding in with Sonia just down and dirty in with the gang as we drop down this slope. You see a brief respite from the dust in the face as you make your way off the gravel and onto the bridges. So he looks at the moment, this pack is like Harry-Roubaix gone mad down here. Now will anybody get abducted off the back? We can see some mysterious disappearances as they come through. They're going around and on to the bridge. So a proper tough route today. Going to test our riders at the moment. Everybody rolling around together, keeping that advantage, trying to stay in the wheels on this descent. Very tricky to do, to see it on the way down the hills at the moment. With all of the dust coming off these riders. I'm loving the fact that Sodges, but I'm not sure why I'm squinting for the fake dust. Loving this. It is absolutely carnage out there in the dust. Off the worst of the dust roads from the top. It is still pretty bad out there, but we do find it damps down a little bit. Let's take a little bit of a look at what the map's doing. Fortunately, the map able to show us exactly what's happening as we take a look down. So it just looks like that red beacon just going to be rolling its way round. A few people distance, so it looks like 2 groups on the road at the moment. We're going to just try and take a look back from this group. This is group number 1. Second big group just coming over the bridge behind. So let's take a little bit of a drop back through the pack at the moment. So these are our chasing riders. They're just trying to get onto the back. Coon, Lauren O'Brien, Keith Richardson, Mantis, Greenwood, Hilbert. All these riders just distanced at the moment on this downhill. So there's a real big spread of riders. And it looks like the gang just about trying to fight their way back together again as they make the way across. And then you have to take the right hand turns back, going round the loop. Nice fast little run down there. Oh, looks like one of our riders just going for a little bit of a loop round there. So that was that Tracy there, just going for a little bit of extra cyclo-cross action. It was indeed. To see Tracy back in. So the gang now taking the right hand turn, dropping down this side again. How young standards getting on in the dust somewhere in this pack. Looks like doing all right at the moment. So it looks like a call for the gang to blob up. They're just going to have a wait for red as our rows come in and across. Interesting. At least one mountain bike in the group just come through. This is where riders like Lauren O'Brien, who are still on a road bike, can benefit here. It's like just alongside Carl Kopinski. You can see the amount of watts that Carl's having to do here just to try and pull clear of Lauren O'Brien. Mr. Coleman not going to be closing in too fast at all those watts per kilo. So let's take a little bit of a look. So it looks like Vin Donahue here in the group. So interesting to see where our riders are. Remember, you've got to watch those time checks because you can just see the group. If we take a look up at the top of the map, it is well and truly spread out at the moment. So our riders back on course once again. So our riders are working well on this big climb up here, and you can just see the dust being kicked up just right in with Dickinson. Let's see just how everybody's getting on. Just give it a check on our riders, all looking good at the moment, but I think we're going to find this climb starts to split people up if they're not careful again. Just in with Julian Leodis in the gang here, so Julian on a gravel bike as well. Another one of the Bolso and District gangs. Have a little look to the backs in here. Tracy, we've got Andy Verrill's back in with us again, so good to have you back on the Chaingang, Mr. Verrill, sir. So nicely riding on, basically a bit like riding on the Belgian Commons non-stop for a little while tonight. Let's have a little look, Neil in here, looking like it's going well. Let's take a little fidget here. Ollie Butterwick in, so let's take a little check on Ollie. How's Ollie doing? Looking pretty smooth at the moment, 131 bits, but all those revs, 94 revs per minute. Moving well on that factor bike as he comes through. Just going to get a bit trouble down here, looking pretty smooth. Thomas Copperton did a good ride on the weekend. Just seeing Tom goes up on top. Interestingly, not changing over to a bike for tonight's ride. Let's take a little bit of a look. the red beacon just a little bit further back. The main group coming together, so it just looks like people starting to form around Vin and the red beacon. Looks like Steve is in there as well. Just don't worry about the time checks to the right of the screen so much. They're definitely not accurate, that is for sure. So Vin on a busy day today, I think, at the back for Vin, already getting riders being distanced in ones and twos from his main gang. Riders working well at the moment. Yep, time checks are definitely not indicative of how tough or how far off riders are from the main group, but looking good at the moment as these riders come out from the back of the woods, coming on the cut across section, and it's going to be a left-hand turn up onto the top of the climb. So going well at the moment, this group, but well impressed with them. 26 minutes in. Remember, we've completed our lead-in, and we're now onto the final section of road once we do this next left-hand turn and head up to the top of the climb. So we're going to be up onto the top section of the climb along the windows as we take this left-hand turn. So taking that left-hand turn goes the Chaingang. Just seeing Russo Yellow Beacon making the move around. I'm loving it. Who's loving it? Enjoyed this route. Ian Baylor's put Matt. Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm loving this. Mr. Sims, it's not his favourite. Good. Prefer the Alp. Really? Really? You must be mental. Good thing about a Chaingang, it always is all over the place. It's been really interesting to see just what people get up to once that trigger point is reached. When Russ pulls that trigger, how are people going to treat this island ride that's going to work like they normally do? Are they prepared to take that risk of going hard really early? We always love it when we put something different in front of our riders. Remember, lots of the race programs, lots of the race series will regularly mix it up on the off-road routes, the gravel routes, simply to throw a curveball at the riders. That's exactly what we've done here, just so that people get a taste of that on the way through, because the Chaingang is all about. It's going to be a tough and interesting coming from Major Ditch. At least it's not Winnets, yeah, not wrong there. Going to be very, very interesting. Mucky strides, yeah, I tell you what, that is pretty good description of this route. It's like riding strides in mud. That's fairly accurate. Actually, sort of interesting to see. Mr. Mason, better not take 2 hours, mate. I'd hope not. We'll see. Who knows? I'm in for the long haul. Got me snacks and supplies. Now, Mr. Mason rates on 140. We could take a sweepstake on this, and quite what we're going to end up at. Down in with the riders, and the gang now are well into these hairpin turns on the way up. Let's see what the softies at the back are up to. Well, Mr. Butterwick, you're in distance here, sir. Not like you. So, good offer from Vin for a gang to see what they're up to. Let's have a little bit of a look, see if we're going to get a response from Clarion Steve. Let's take a little bit of a look at Clarion Steve at the moment, just revving along at 83 respect of 100 watts. Just see that red beacon up in front, one of our more match-shaped riders, that's for sure. Oh, mind out, Vin. Stay clear of the wild boar and the piglets. So, let's have a little bit of a run on the slowly coming towards the main bunch, but I'm still dancing about, going all over the place. Jeff say so on a big one right there. Looks like Andy Driver's in here. So Andy's riding Andy's on a gravel bike, that's for sure. This is Bale in here. There's a rider who got the memo. So riders right up at the top of the climb. Let's see how they're going to go. Looks like it's going to be run through the top and underneath the banner very, very shortly indeed. Let's keep an eye on them going around the wooden loops here. Now you can basically go out to the right, then come back left and pick up the banner on the way through. Just drop the map in on Xanadu, so you just take that right hand turn, and then they're going to be heading back around to the left. So the group all behind, you can just see the dust being blown off the hills as they come in towards the banner. Just going to see that coming up in front of the riders very shortly indeed. There we go. So this is the run into the banner. This will be the finishing line. So we have done one full lap. We've done basically 3/4 of the lap. So 3 to go. Let's see how they go now. Time for some dust. So just watching these riders being split into groups again. This descent actually is causing more problems than the ascent here on the Chaingang. You can just see people just being distanced into little groups on the way through. Just watching the riders. Let's Wilcoxon here. Looks like Tim O'Leary in there, just jump up the road up to where Russ is, and behind him you can see on the map, if we move that map around, that there are two very distinct groups opening back up again on this as we come across this section of course here, as we're on, basically we're on our cut across section, and then we go up on to the T-junction, take that right hand turn. It's already well over 2/3 of the way down the descent now. See where that junction is. Difficult, tricky to do when we get into a T-junction, and we're going to do a right-hand turn. It looks like that group could well be coming together again, just a little bit further back. So roll our way back. You can see the gaps here. So just riding in with Finch. I think Hayward is probably the last rider in this group. Then we've got Butterwick and Julie Leonis a little further back. Looks like Clark, Greenwood, Leary and Donahue probably all destined in that bus with Finn, I would imagine. So let's keep an eye as they come up here. Meanwhile, Finch, Verrill, Tracy all needing to just push on to take that right-hand turn here. And for this group, looks like it's pretty much just regrouped, which is great to see. People taking a little while to just move and get the feel of how it was riding on here. So that group just starting to find its feet, really just starting to work out how it all pulls together as we're on this next downhill heading down into town. This second group just being distanced a little bit, so the first group onto the tarmac already. Here comes the second group, just running at the back here with Tim Howcroft at the moment. This is where the riders realise quite how distant they are on the way through. They can see that yellow beacon, and I think they're going to close up. If you're on the front, make sure you have a little look behind to see where it is. So before we go back up onto the climb once again, we are going to try and get hold of Russ, who hopefully is going to be on the end of the phone line very shortly. So let's see how Russ is doing, and go across to our yellow beacon, who's live out there at the moment. Russ, how you doing?
Hey, now then.
I'm loving the scenery. I'm loving the dust clouds. I'm loving the fact that actually nobody's just eating dirt actually in real life, which is quite good. And the group really came back together really well that time on that downhill.
Yeah, it got to the front of the eased up, and yeah, it's nice, isn't it? I don't know how many people want to just like at the back, but yeah, it's not easy work. It's working well.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be working well, and the group coming back together. We've seen the red beacon. We knew the red beacon would be having his work cut out today. That definitely seems to be the case. I'm just looking at these time splits, although they're really tricky, aren't they? Because they keep on jumping about. That is making it harder for people to stay together as a group.
Yeah, you know, it's backwards, forwards, but you know, Vin's doing a great job back there, and I think we're holding it pretty good here. You know, the snakes have all calmed down and gone back in the grass, and the blob's good.
I think when people realise when we're on a tough one, and it is a tough one, that actually it's time to group together and work together, and that's the whole point of the Donny Chaingang. That's what we love about it, is that people soon getting back together. Behind you, it's really interesting to see there are a fair few people being dotted already, and I don't think we've seen this for a while on the Chaingang, because we haven't picked particularly rough routes for people on the way in, but we're rolling into winter. and why not? Let's have a look. I think this is going to be a long one.
Yeah, it'd be even longer if we don't work together. So let's get each other as deep into the workout as possible, and then we'll go, and it's like find a group, get to the finish. You won't be the last on the road. Then Donny was going to do that. So,
yeah.
But no, it should be good fun. Everyone's saying an hour and 35, but the last lap and half will be ramping it up, so we're going to go faster. So,
yeah,
I'm reckoning under 120 for the front group, but we'll see. I might even be in the front group. I'm just gambling.
Yeah, we'll see.
As I'm going out the back on the phone.
Well, sorry. I did consider putting the camera on you, but I know you're just a little bit further back. Let's have a little bit of a look. We haven't got your heart rate over 100 yet, mate, so you've still got plenty left. Don't worry.
No, I'm just. I might turn the tunes over and put some crazy James Allen tunes on or something, whatever he listens to.
Oh, steady, yeah, definitely. I thought that was Cry Wolf by Aha was his favourite, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's Blue Moon.
He's Crying Wolf now, isn't he? Out in Mallorca, living the life, riding with all these superstars,
I know.
Contador, Jan Ulrich, who else? He rolled Jan Ulrich on the finish line, didn't he? What a sneak.
But and you wouldn't? Come on. I got the opportunity to roll Jan Ulrich.
Yeah, his excuse was he was trying to get out of the way for the photo, I said.
Yeah.
Whatever, Mr. Hackman.
Yeah. Well,
I want to roll him.
I can let you into a little secret that actually the boss, our leader of the women's Chaingang, her favourite rider in the entire peloton was always Jan Ulrich, and actually she has a secret crush on him. Definitely. So
he was a good guy. I had the privilege of riding with him a few times, and he was solid. Really cool as ice on a bike.
Cool.
So so fun.
Yeah, definitely a power rider for sure, and great on the bike. Good to see him back riding. Good to see him looking happy, which is key. So we're going to let you get back in. Let's see how you get on a little bit further. You never know, we might come back to you. Yeah, we might have plenty of time to come back to you another couple of times. So cheers, Russ. Good luck.
Please don't, mate.
I'm not going to guarantee that one. So big thanks to Russ, still out on the riding that heart rate. Well, we got a bit closer to 100 for you guys. We do try and make him work hard on the way up, just on that cut across road in a second. And the group's just starting to break up a little bit here. As you can see, the road just taking its toll, and the gang just pulling apart. And we've just seen. You're not allowed to apologise for being slow on this route, that is for sure. So let's have a little look. It looks like that group working while at the front. That red beacon group actually aren't that far away on the road at the moment, although that's deceptive. Just coming across the lower road, and looks like Finn got a fair few people around him, so he's going to be no doubt having a chat on the way through. Don't forget, of course, this is ride number 1 of Halo-ween now. Real contrasting rides in this week, because this week we have 2 very different rides. So we'd really show you the Jekyll and Hyde side of cycling, and you work out which is which depending on your preferences, because of course today it's tough, it's off-road, it's really dusty, it's dirty, there is nowhere to hide on this route with its multiple ascents and its big ascent of climbing. A real big endurance day for the riders on some gritty roads, and it is the sort of thing where you need the right kit, you do need a good set of Halo-ween, so this is tough stuff. If we go to Thursday, well, you'll all be glad to know that the very last 14k of Thursday's ride are pancake flat, absolutely nothing. So it is going to be super fast as we run in, because it is pancake flat on Thursday. It's a real steady run in, and you'll find that we have fast riders used to the tarmac heading back in again. See, Mr. Rose is with us, trying to grab a view of Mr. Rose somewhere out on the course. Easier said than done in this group. You never know, may well be able to catch Francis on the way through. Let's just see if we can get a view of Francis. So Francis currently just distanced by the main gang. Now Francis' key here it is going to be fast group coming up behind you. Now you've got Tracy coming behind you. I think you've got Mr. Butterwick and Clark Hayward. So take on board some fluids, take on board some fuel. Hang tight, there are lots of riders coming on the way through, and then we head to the fast roads. It is Deuce France when we go back into Watteau, into Zwift, into France on Thursday, and Deuce France, basically the RGV route in reverse, the 7. The most favourite popular route that we do in France, I think, is actually Caspats, Swiftly RGV, and then we'll see when the guys are on. I think it should be Deuce France after that. If you think this is tough, I've got lots more on my sleeve, don't worry. Whether or not we put them in, well, we'll see how much people moan. More people moan, generally, harder we make it. It's kind of how it works some days. Russ is actually the nicer one of the two of us, even though everyone says don't poke the bear. Don't say you weren't warned. So our riders on the 7% ascent here as they make their way up into this corner at the moment, and still keeping it smooth as they come around these bends. So the ball's just chasing the last of the riders. You just see the Man Cat's giving an eye on everybody. It is the foxes in there. It is a real wonderful fancy world when you come down into the table. You just see the fox up on the rock, watching our riders on the way up here. So good to see Nichols in with the gang here. John Garfer's in. Looks like got Mr. Taylor on board. Chris Gales McKeown Rob is in from the Drogon team. Very accomplished cyclocross rider and rider in action at the weekend. Looking good at the moment, keeping those revs nice and smooth. Interestingly, I don't think he's on a cyclocross bike. I think he's relying on his superior skills to get him up and through the route. So on the final section of this climb, this is going to be 2 laps, full laps plus the lead-in complete, and everybody seems to be pretty settled in here on the way through. I'm sure I just saw Barry Kipling on his way through. Barry is one of the riders who came to say hi, I think, and I was absolutely in the flow and working. It's actually hard work. I probably should on the bike for the full weekend, make sure we're on. And making sure that we're actually getting everything else we should do. And looks like Mr. Kipling's back in the team here. Definitely the hero. That is for sure one of our oldest rows in here. Well, we did warn you, it was going to be a tough day today, potentially the toughest Donny Chaingang that we've done to date. It's definitely going to be one of our long ones, which is good. We've had some really long ones actually, and at least this one is a little bit more varied than some, but we have had a right old mix, and we've got to mix it up, and it would all be boring. I mean, let's face it, he just likes riding around the Halo-ween trail. Very boring, same wooden scenery in front of the crowd to the right. Infield to your left, riders about, yeah, kind of gets bored after about lap 4 or 5. So at least you've got decent scenery out here, and it looks like all these riders riding well as they come up on towards the top of the climb. Well, that gang is holding together really quite well, I have to say, at the top as we come up towards the summit of the climb, as we make our way around the tree roots and make our way in and across. Looks like the gang not doing too badly. Remember, this is 2 full laps complete. 2 full laps go, because we also have that run in as well. It'll be really interesting to see what happens once Ross pulls the trigger, but we'll have to wait for that a little bit longer yet. I think we're not quite in to that territory yet, but who knows? No reading the mind of the bear. It looks like Stefano Borelli, the man who's just got himself £100 from to spend at Halo Wheels, just running his way in and through. So Stefano just distanced a little bit, just got to pick the pace up, but I'm sure we are going to see a fair few people get distance on this descent. So that lap time coming down, because see the fat cyclist watches working. I think he's got a future as a timekeeper for the RTTC, as was, whatever it is now, CTT, Cycling Time Trials, however they've rebranded themselves. So the group in and on to the next bridge. Looks like the Spirit's back out again. So 2 more laps to go on the gang. Let's see how they're going. Deliveroo app, is that how long each course of the pizza is taking? Each time you get a new pizza, taking to come, mate. It'll be really interesting to see. So let's see how. Do you know what? I'll just kill the pizza. Been a really busy 5 days in Scotland. I've got to say a massive thank you to Donny, Chaingang member, and Evans, inadvertently switching his sister-in-law on cycling. Never realised at the time I booked it that the Airbnb I was going to actually belongs to the sister-in-law of who's the sister-in-law of Donny Chaingang rider. It's a small world. Got to say, if you're aiming to go up in towards the river down by the Kelvin, anywhere between Glasgow or Edinburgh, you want to base up there. Brilliant place. Look for the Tin Lid Cottage or anything in Bantam. Great community, the very first community in Scotland, and it is a great, I've got to say, a real great place to go and eat. A great community up there, and fantastic. Big thank you to the whole weekend was really good. Some great racing from riders who got DCG, really did make it a great weekend. So let's see, looks like Julie Otis is going to be heading off an hour done from Julie out on the Baghdad. Of course, we also have our Women's on Wednesday coming next week. So let's see how we go on. It's interesting to see who's going to survive to the end of this Sunday. We have more nutrition. So just keeping our eye on the gang at the moment. Looks like Nick Dorsey just putting distance here. Come on, Nick, time to push on those pedals a bit, mate. Just hitting 23k here. Just looking to see where Russ is. Here comes Russ. So it looks like Russ just distanced a little bit. Looks like Dorsey just dropped back for him here. Now having to push back in again. So Downing just distanced as they make their way down. Already well over halfway down this descent. In fact, almost. To be 2/3 very shortly down the descent for us at the moment, just distance from the front of the group here. Looks like Rob will just go back helping out as well, so the gang just distance a touch. Like Russ back in with the group once again. So let's take a little bit of a check down the Birmingham still in this group. Ian Bales in here. Looks like Tim Howcroft holding steady there. Craig Genther in, Taylor in here. Looks like Joe Jarvis comfortably in this group as well, by the look of it. The new AEO kit there. Tomlinson in here. There's Jarvis in that Aeonian kit. The women's team, in fact, her teammates just starting to warm up as they start to head into their next race, because of course don't forget the WTL on a Tuesday night regularly, and a lot of the women's teams are racing there. Don't forget, of course, women's on Wednesdays back next week. Good routes, looking forward to that. It was amazing one last week. In between, of course, we still have plenty of riding to be done on the route at the moment. Just getting a little bit strung out, a little bit snakes and ladders again, but we'll see as the riders come down. So that pace continues to pick its way up each time. Mr. Drabble just distance to touch in, and not like him at all. Billy Nomak's just going to be streaming in and past. We're just going to work our way down here and just have a little bit of a look, see where it is at the moment. We see all the gang just going down. Looks like the app is playing up. That's always a bad sign. It just looks like Tracy just making her way back down. So well, Taylor just coming in and through. So Russ sat on the back of the group at the moment. Looks like back in the land of the living, and just making his way past the three-wheel pickups as comes up on to the bridge, and just picking up the back wheel of Langmead and Dorsey at the moment. Question is it Dowtrey who's on the mountain bike? No, is it Bobby Mason who's on the mountain bike today? Bobby's on the mountain bike today. Interesting choice. We'll see how it's going. So around the sneaky roads to go this tarmac, a nice respite from those faster sections. Looks like Mark Thorpe just being distance, Choppy just being distance. Let's take a little bit of a look at Kroll being distance now. Sonia just a little bit of a gap. Stefano the same. Tracy there as well. Charles is sat in the back of this pack. Craig just in this little bit of a gap here. Ross right on in. I think there's been a little bit of panic up the front. And, let's take a little bit of a check. So. Looks like it's just about in there. So the group with Russ just in here, just taking a little bit of a look at the numbers up in front. Actually, nobody going too mad. Okay, just a natural split in the group at the moment. So that gang pretty much all back together once again, with people being distance increasing as we take the right-hand turn up onto the climb. So this is the third of the ascents. Sorry, it's our fourth ascent. Wow, time flies. Fourth ascent as we go up on the way up towards the top. So fourth ascent started. Remember, we went once in the lead-in, and we go up for 4 full laps as well. So 5 in total. We've completed the first 3. This is now the 4th ascent that we started. So the penultimate ascent on its has commenced for those riders taking that turn into the climb. Now, who's got the legs at the end of a long ride? Well, I don't think it'll be too much longer before we find out, but Russ maybe just keeping the strength in numbers as we go a little bit longer. Remember, this is tough times as you come up onto the climb. Currently on 5% gradient. Just keeping an eye on Mason at the moment in this lot, despite his mithering comfortably in the group. I'm sure he's got more than enough stamina for this. He's definitely got enough supplies. So Healy on his way in, Birmingham, Rob Wimble's in here. So good to see everybody in the gang. So Joe on the back of this group, come on Joe, keep pushing, don't get distance. You can just see this is where the trouble starts to come. Riders at the back of this group just being distanced a little bit at a time. It doesn't take too much, and our riders end up in trouble. They've got to keep pushing. The lanterns are on, the lights are on here as we come up 6%, 8%, 9%. Then we're going to quickly take the right hand turn here. We cut across, the cut across, which does make life a little bit easier. Just doing that brake now. Take that right hand turn. We're actually going to see the red beacon coming down in behind these riders, and he's going to be coming from our right as we look at the screen. Just looking back from Mr. Coleman, here he comes. So our red beacon is going to be coming around. Remember, he's about half a lap down at the moment, so we're going to get a little bit of assistance. And you can just see the pace the red beacon's taken through there, just coming through that gap. So looks like he might be half a lap down. He's just pushing his way up through this group. And remember that red beacon, he is a gap. He is going to try to make up room here. So one of the best things about a figure of 8 course is that we get to see the red beacon absolutely mullering his way back in again after working with people. Look at that, look at the numbers he's got. So Vin is going to come up to this turn and he is going to take a right. He's actually, I'm loving that absolute flyby, Vin. Excellent. He asked for permission, he did the flyby anyway. Absolutely loving it. Nailing his way in and across. Got to remember, of course, that he is basically a full half a lap down on the group here. So just good to see him on his way through. Now he is going to take the right hand turn. We are going to really quickly try and cut back across to the main group. So we're going to jump back across to the yellow beacon group. Here we go. Love that by Vin. Absolutely nailing it on his way through. He's just trying to make some time back, I think. Great to see. And Vin showed them that the boss can do the business, Sir can do the walk the walk as well as talk the talk. As we see the group coming up now. Vin's going to turn right here. We're going to turn left on the way up. So Vin turning right, guess what? We're going left. Here we go. Good to see Julie on the ride. Thanks for joining us, Julie. Julie joined us just after that 105. So on to the climb. This the top part of the climb. When we get to the line this time, there'll be one more lap to go when we hit the top of the climb this time round. So the red beacon dropping back down into the bottom. Our riders now onto the climb up towards the top here, and they are onto the upper section of this climb. So this is what's left of the bunch. Plenty of people starting to be distanced behind what is left of the peloton. Tough one tonight. You know that phrase? It ain't easy. It's the Donny Chaingang. I've avoided using it until now, but you know what? We don't want to make it too easy for people. You've got to keep it tough, and that is exactly what is happening tonight. Our riders out and riding this course, doing a great job so far. As the spirits come down, Halo-ween on the Donny Chaingang continues to strike our riders. Spooky mist blowing in and out from the river, the stream, the river, the spray coming off it. So that group continues to be whittled down here. You can just see it starting to come apart on these riders. Just people just starting to disappear off the back. You can see Lauren O'Brien still in this group, still looking good. This goes through here, 84 revs per minute. That's what we say. Really talk about looking good, keeping the revs smooth, keeping them high, not struggling with that heart rate. Although at the moment not showing heart rate up on here. Looks like West in this group. Howcross made it back into the group. Carl Kapinski is in here. Looks like Russ just nicely lodged in this group, not doing too much work. Evan Pro sat in the pack and not putting his nose in the wind too much. Now as we come up towards the top, we will make our way in and through the tree roots, through the bridges of the going to the top. You get the tree of life at the top of the river, and you just see as we come through this leading group. Looks like Nicholas just about holding on to the back of the pack. It's taking its toll on the riders now as we keep on making our way up this climb. Still 5% as we come up. Just see the tree roots around the rocks here. This group just coming back together again. Just seeing Dr. D still in here. He's doing well. So he got lashed up on the mountain bike with a bit of a stag. Sat in this group working nicely. Kapinski's still here. Looks like drivers in this group. Steve G is in here. Looks like Neil. Crosscast Neil's in here. Tomlinson in this group. Looks like Woodall's here. Mr. Runner is in. Simon's in. AD Tench is in here. Ian Bale's in. Do you know what? Everybody is going, oh my gosh, where's it going to go? 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 Well, do you know what? Yeah, because put the numbers up, those magic words up on the screen, and this back of this pack is just starting to come back together again now. So let's see. It is getting to the top of the climb. We're not far off that gantry of the archway, and it will be really interesting to see just where that's going to be called. Remember, it's about 39 or so into that finish, 39k basically to the finish. The riders just on the way round. You can see Briggs at the moment, Beefy, Taylor, Johnson all distance, Mason just off the back of the bunch, Dubash just pushing on here. Looks like Dixon Moore just made it back into that group as I came up on to the boardwalk here, up on to the raised carriageway here across. This is where things get very interesting indeed. Travel is in here, Osmond's in this group, Doubtree's in here, Mason's in here, Runner is in this group. Interesting to see who is the Twitches. The Rose. The go is gone. So Russ has hit the button. It is go, and look at the number of power-ups going from the riders as they try and stay with Russ. You can just see there is power-up after power-up. They're all being burnt up here, but this is about now smashing your way in the front. The people who can see, it's going to be Genther at the front because we're about to hit that dusty descent down. The clouds start coming up. We're going to just ride in with Genther at the moment because if you can see in front, he can see exactly where he's going. This is Craig's view, but if we look behind Craig Genther, you can just see it is a big dust cloud, and it was priority to be up near the front. One of the key things when you're racing on Zwift, you've got to know what's going on around you, and to do that you've got to see. You might have the numbers by the side, but this is it. There is less than one lap to go now, and the riders on the front absolutely nailing it off the top there. It's going to be quick down here, still riding in with Genther, Dryberg with him, Dench is up here, Mason here. Look at Osmond going through though. Osmond nails it in through that straight there, and Osmond goes up on to the front. Mason is on his wheel though, and it looks like Gareth Mason trying to stay in those wheels. The groups have been diminished very quickly indeed. And looks like the gap's starting to open up. Steve G, Rob Taylor, Richard Woodall in the second big group on the road. Lauren O'Brien, Nick Dorsey, Simon Chubbin. It looks like Mantis and Kapinski in another group behind, but this is absolutely manic at the moment. So here we go, this descent. We're about to take that left-hand turn where we saw Vin Donahue, and we might be doing a flyby on Vin here at this rate because he's actually on this section of road in front of us now, but we've got the big pack on the move here. It looks like Russ just in with this group, just flying past Kroll, who's on there now, as Russ says, find a group and get yourself a group to get home again. We're closing in. Our red beacon is in front. You can just see him at the top of your map. He's going to get off this bit of road before he gets blasted back by the pack coming through there, moving quick. It's going to be a tough catch to go blasting past him before he manages to take the left, and he's still got to go up onto the climb, and then he's got a full lap to go. This is our leading group though, and at the moment Shelley Charles in this group. Russ just holding on the back here as they come in. They're going to be able to see the red beacon, I think, just about, but the red beacon is going to get out of the way. He's going to be turning left. We're going to turn right here. Who has got the power to take this out on the front? You can just look at these numbers on here. Craig Genther, they can see the red beacon. He's just snuck that left-hand turn. He'll have seen him coming behind him. So you can just see at the moment it is Genther. The beacon just not taking the left turn. He's onto the climb again. Genther's going to be going right here though, and that means as he goes towards the right-hand side, you can just see that our red beacon's on that climb now. Driver goes over the top. They've got Drabble in here. There's a little bit of a gap open behind these riders. Are they going to try and take advantage of this? And Dench is the rider who's been left to chase here. So Dench has to make a move here. He's got Birmingham with him, but the gaps have opened up. Remember, these riders are going to struggle to see anything. Let's look down in that chase. This is the view that you're getting. You don't quite know where everybody is. And it is dusty, it's dirty, it's tough out there. We're about to hit the tarmac, and this is where our riders will get a view around. They'll be able to see just who's in those leading groups. This is the chase pack up behind those three riders. They've pushed on down. There are 6, 7 riders behind on that 3. That's going to make it 10 riders in here. Looks like Neil recovering from the journeys the previous week before, as Russ goes on the offensive now. Russ goes at 11 watts per kilo. I just saw being kicked off for us there as he pushes down hard here, just trying to open up that gap. So looks like once again the bear is on his way, but has he taken clear? Somebody who can stay clear, he has, because Lawrence Coyle, we know, can be right in at the mix. So these are our 2 leaders, but immediately behind comes that group. Can they close that gap down? This is going to be tough stuff, so let's see how they go as they come around this turn. They're going to be onto the climb very shortly indeed, and then it'll be a run to the top of the hill. 2 leaders, group of essentially 8 chasers behind. Let's take a little bit of a check behind these riders, just to see where the big group is. Looks like, I think it's going to be West and Elliott with Richardson sandwiched in between. Good to see Carl, just saying see you soon, and we'll catch you on Thursday, I'm sure. Carl, now let's see who's in this. Jeffrey's in here, Driver's in here, Drabble's in here. Then it's a little bit of a gap back. Richardson trying to chase, but it's going to be Elliott and West just behind him. Then it's going to be Osmond, Dowdleash, Childs. I think Bale just distance here. Childs just pulling to the side of the road there. Taylor comes through. This is a big pack chasing behind them. This has got Kapinski, Ball in here, Kipling in here, Pillsworth's in here, Raku's in here. There's going to be stories about, did you make it? Never mind how fast did you go. Let's see how they get on. Looks like Lauren O'Brien in this group as well. She certainly is. She's almost on the front here, just towing this whole group around. Meanwhile, the yellow beacon group up the road, and yet again another dig going in on the front here as Coyle just pushes on. He's got a little bit of power going down here. They take the right hand turn very shortly indeed, and once they do and start heading up and away, here we go onto the dirt. This is the climb once again. So on the way up the hill they go. We're going to go up the left side, cut across to the right, up the right hand side, a real mix on the way through. So the climb proper starts. Looks like Russ just holding on to the back of this group. And remember, that big, long, attritional ride on the way in definitely taking its toll on these riders. Just got to jump across to try and find our leaders. Always entertaining when you've got bits of course directly across the valley. Remember, Zwift tells you the times to the nearest riders as the crow flies, not as you can ride across. So here we go. This is the leading group. These are the riders as they come into the bamboo thickets here and start to make their way in between the fences. They're coming up here. Remember, they're going to take a steep section of climb. This next section to the right hand turn is pretty steep stuff. It's not the most pleasant of the climbs on the way up through here, and it definitely hurts on the way through. You just see the gradient starting to pick up here. 3% at the moment. That is soon going to increase as these riders continue up these slopes. 4% now. You can just see they're going to pick up a rider. I think it's going to be a lap down for Les at the moment. Les at 15.7, so the leader's coming through at the minute. Birmingham is in here, but it looks like it was Mason who was doing the damage on the front now. Going to try and cut back across. Easier said than done. To pick a couple of riders and stick with them at the moment. Not sure who I should be sticking with. It doesn't look like it's going to be AD Dench at the moment. So our riders up now, taking that right hand turn as they come in and through. And you can see at the moment on the back of the group here is Russ Downing, just tucked on the left hand side of your screen, just moving his way in and across. You can see at the moment all this group are on the way through, so let's just get out there. And at the moment it is Mason who's just keeping the power down here. This is the cut across they go through. This is where we almost caught the red beacon not all that long ago. There's going to be a left hand turn up the climb. Let's see how they're going to go behind. We've got a real decent group of riders currently sitting at about 2-3 seconds. You've got Dench Travel, you've got Downing and Genther in here. Then it's going to be about 28 seconds back to Elliott. Tom Elliott in there, and then it's going to be West Richardson, I think, on the way through there. But the leading group just starting to pull clear at the moment. This group, this select group of riders on this cut across, this slightly rolling innocuous section of the course, not the biggest part of the climb. These are the riders that pulled play. Neil Birmingham, you've got Jeffries, you've got Dryberg, you've got Mason, you've got Coyle in here as well. These are our 5 riders. So Jeffries, Mason, Dryberg, Birmingham and Coyle. The 5 riders. Oh, and let's see, make that 6, 7, 8, 9. Almost 10 riders. AD got back on. Dench has made it as well. Neil from the crosscast could be the last one to join the party here, and they're going to be taking this left-hand turn any second. The man from Gritty, one of our key supporters, just about making contact with Russ's back wheels. We take that left-hand turn, that 7% kicker up in towards the shrine, and it's time to go through the shrine and into the Spirit Forest proper. As we make our way up this climb, you can see at the top of your screen that King of the Mountains location. It's not all that far away. The riders just having to be a little bit careful, don't get eaten by the beasties at the side of the road. And just looks to me like Drabble having to stop there. I think Drabble has gone pop here, so let's have a look. That's taking a few more out of contention here. Birmingham and Dryberg. Dryberg now goes up onto the front, starting to push in here as he comes up. Remember, they finish as they hit the top of the climb this time round. Being chased up this climb at the moment, but Dryberg's gone here. He's at 7.6. Can Mason respond to this? Can Birmingham? Can Jeffries? They can't afford to let him go. This is the kicker here from Dryberg. He's on a big charge at the moment up the climb. Lots of hairpin turns, though. They'll be able to see exactly where he is. He'll be able to see them behind him. But at the moment, he's making this look easy, continuing to open up those gaps. And Andy at the moment with the gap. So Andy opening up that gap, big kick. He must think he can take it all the way into the finish. It's a long, long way from here to the top. If his legs go pop, these are the riders who are poised to chase him down. With that gap now at 9 seconds, it is Coyle, Birmingham, Mason and Jeffries. Just in with Jeffries here on the gravel bike. Then it's going to be Downing now. Downing comes on through. Is he going to leave this to the very end? Just see. Let's moves up to the group, then just backs off again. Coyle now starts to kick again, but look at Driver. He's now on a gap of what is 10, now 11 seconds. You can see the group behind him coming round the bend behind. You got the long sweeper, then we're on to the wooden raised platform that runs its way through underneath and through the roots, the Gantry up at the top here, just starting to come into sight. You can just see the ropes around its midriff here, as around the middle of its trunk, as we see Dryberg onto the top. He has got a gap of 13 seconds on this group, and we say it's a group. Looks like Coyle has gone again, so Coyle just trying to go clear. So these are the chasers trying to close down on our lone leader at the moment, and it's Dryberg who's leading them up. Then it is going to be this group coming on to this big run across. You can see it's Coyle, Birmingham, Jeffries, Mason, and Downing. Nearest rider to the back of this pack is going to be Eddie Dench, but this is your leader. Now, if we take a little bit of a look back across, I think it's going to be the other side of the tree, just coming round the turns. It is going to be the yellow beacon. That is a chasing group, but it's levelled out now, and this is where Driver is going to take this. I think it's going to be Andy's day today. Big tough day on the Donny Chaingang, potentially the toughest Donny Chaingang so far to date, and who is going to take it is going to be Andy Dryberg, who's going to take victory here today. The gantry is coming, here he is, through the gantry he goes. Andy Dryberg takes it. Behind them, Birmingham is starting to wind it up. Is Birmingham going to be the rider who's going to take second place? He's just opened a gap on Jeffries and Mason. He's going for it here. He's got 8 watts per kilo behind. Then you could just see Jeffries, and then it's going to be Mason. Mason's going for it. Well, he gets the 3rd place. Coyle gets 4th. Downing's going to get 5th. 80 Dench on his way through. It's going to be a 6th place today for 80, or is it? Because Genther's going to have him here, so it's going to be Genther. He's on his way. It is going to be tough stuff, so that is a tough day at the office, but Genther is making this look easy. Neil from the crosscast, oh, just about gets 80 Dench coming through. Real tight finish between those riders out there, and we've got our first of our riders in and through, looking good at the moment. Now, the next rider, I think, is going to be Elliot. He's got a big gap in front. He's got a big gap behind, but behind him, this is the duo. It's going to be between West and Richardson. So, Elliot on that turn on the run for the archway at the Temple KOM arch here, just making his way in a big tough climb here to finish off the day, and it looks to me like Elliot is going to be our next rider. It looks good here. Now, Rossini couldn't see the finish. I think that could be Sweat. It could well be, just because of the volume of dust being kicked up by the riders. It makes a big difference when you're looking at it. So our riders on the way through. If you finish today, you can see you've done the toughest Chaingang. Come on. We're getting into winter. This is where you really need to start being able to dig in and make it hurt. So here we go. This is the run in. This is the kick here. West has gone for it. Is he going to take Richardson? It's going to be close. Richardson's pulling ahead. Richardson in the red, black and grey goes through. Then it's West. Then it's Shopping going through. Osmond's coming immediately behind him. Runnett's coming fast behind him. It's only a few seconds back to Pillsworth on his way through. Then it's going to be Mr. Woodall coming in towards the line. So it looks like it's going to be Richard Woodall, our next rider in and through. Woodall coming through, 124 for Woodall. Next up will be Rob Taylor coming through. Nice riding by Rob into the line, riding that bike, not the easiest bike to take round this course as he goes in through the line. Then it's going to be Dalglish who's making his way in as our Fox watches on. He goes in underneath the gantry. Then it's going to be this fight here. Who's going to take this? Well, I think it could well be Dowtree who's going to get it. It looks like it is going to be Dowtree here. He's going to take that, so it's Dowtree, then Bale, then Kipling, Nick Dorsey, Ball coming through. Good riding, guys, well done. Next up is going to be Carl Kapinski, the man with the best pen in the business, as he comes in towards the line. Good riding by Carl as he got it his own way. I'm not sure he can relax too much here, but he gets in through the line because Mantis is going to come through. Then it's going to be Tom Crapper. Good riding by Tom. Then it's going to be Bags pushing to the line. Then we're going to drop back for Malin, and Malin now coming in to finish, still inside that hour and a half as he comes in towards line. Good riding by him, looking for Raccoon here. So Raccoon now pushing on the right hand side here. Oh, big push by Dr. D though, gets it. So Dr. D gets it, then Dubash now can ease off Steve G on his way through. Big tough day at the office for our riders today. We've got to keep them on their toes, and I think that has definitely happened this time round. So well done to the team. Looks like Russ Senior, then Dick Samore, then it's going to be Rob Wimble and John Garford, who are going to be the next riders in towards the line. If you do get through the line, don't forget we've got built in nice warm down to take you back down to the bottom there. Just keep those points coming in. So some amazing riding today. A very, very tough day at the office. We knew it was going to be. We did say to the members of the DCG gang on their email it was going to be tough, but this is Halo-ween. Of course it's not easy. We were out to scare our riders on number one, and that's what we've done. It's going to be a real opposite when you can pull your deep carbon wheels out. You can get those Kimuras out in action as we go on to Thursday. But remember, still lots of riders out on this big climb in towards finish. Just watching John Garford making his way in towards us. So John on that run into the finish now. So good riding by John Garford as he goes in and through the line. We're just going to take a little bit of a run back, and I think Chris Gale here going over the top of Ian Taylor. Come on in, time to pick your socks up, mate. Never mind posted in the Oakleys. Time to get up after Chris Gale. Gale is pushing here, coming in all the way to the line time. As Gale at the moment with a little bit of a gap on Ian Taylor at the moment. So going to be Chris Gale on his way in to that finish at the moment. Going to get inside the 1.5 hour mark, I think, as he comes in towards the line. Going to be good going. Now, there's a guesstimate of about 2 hours from me on the longest ride, the last rider in through the line. We'll see if that's going to be the case. Not always as accurate on that as we think, but we can live with that. It's my maths is notorious, particularly when it comes to going uphill. It's always easier than I think it is on this cuff. So next up is going to be Ian Taylor, the man from Oakley, from 1080, responsible for the 12 DCGs of Christmas, goes in and through. Then it's going to be Nichols, so Michael Nichols, the 3RT squad. Good riding by Michael, well done, mate. He's going to come in ahead of Bobby Mason. Mason running that man back, doing a good job, Bobby, well done. Inside that hour and a half, Tim Howcroft is going to beat the hour and a half on this. Beef is going to do this. Keep a note of your times, guys. We're not going to promise we're not coming back. In fact, I'd almost guarantee at some point we'll be heading back this way. So keep a check of your times, see if you can beat it next time out. As Beefy and Briggs are our next two coming into the line. Now we know that Bell Beefy will go for this and try and push all the way into the finish. It's going to be between Beefy and Briggs. You just see Beefy just starting to wind it up. Briggs is doing the same here. So Carl Briggs and Colin Bell both continue to push, jumping with Briggs for a chase here. Don't mind waving. I know you've reached the top, mate. Time for the kick. Here he goes. So Bell puts in the kick. Briggs tries to respond to it, but we're seeing 8.4, 8.8. Blubber neck. Looks like Colin needing to have a big old warm up on his way through. Goes through just ahead of Briggs. And then it's going to be Wilson, our next rider into the line. Good riding, mate, particularly on a standard road bike. Tough day at the office. Going to come inside the 1 hour 30. Well done, mate. Then Dickinson's going to beat that 1 hour 30. Now it's going to be very, very tight for Healy and Coleman. Come on, guys, now's the time to push. It's going to be really, really close on time. If you give it some big beans, you might just make this inside 130. Not going to happen. I don't think we'll see. Just see two different times actually up on the clock here, and interesting to see if they're going to make it. So Coleman just chasing Healy. Healy's been on fractionally longer. That's quite impressive. So just watching Healy on his way, and Coleman coming in to the line. It's going to be Healy who's just going to take this ahead of Paul Coleman. Paul Coleman pushes in over the top. Well done, bud. Then it's going to be a lone rider coming in immediately behind him. Chris Canham and Joe Jarvis. Not all that far behind at the minute. So lone rider in through the line, and then it's going to be Canham and Jarvis. We're going to try and jump into us probably after Sonia potentially. So that's going to be in approximately, I reckon about probably about a minute's time, I think. So this is your 1 minute warning, Russ Downing. 1 minute warning. So Chris Canham on his way in. Cap turned backwards. Not so sure about socks, but nice cap. Next up is going to be Joe Jarvis. So Joe from the Aeonian squad. Nice colour match on that bike. Loving it. Good skills. There are a few riders who could take note of those skills, matching the Aeonian kit there as Joe goes in through the line, 131.19. Then it's going to be Wilson who's going to be our next rider in. So Steve coming up towards the line. Well done, Steve. Continuing to push his way in to the finish. So we're going to jump from Steve. Well done, mate. So Joe Jarvis making it just in time, and Joe taking Sonia into the line. So Sonia now the next rider coming in, and looking forward to seeing Sonia in action. More races in the coming year, but Sonia at the moment out on the Chaingang, puts in the arrow. Nice timing. You can tell the experienced riders to hit that button just to wind it up as they come off the gravel and onto the bridge, making the most of that aerodynamic advantage. As we come in to the finish of Sonia Inslee. Great ride by Sonia again here on the Donny Chaingang, and it's going to be Sonia who is going to be our next rider in and through the line here. Well done, Sonia. Definitely a tough day at the office. That's what we want. You don't want it easy. We've seen your rides on Strava. Now Steve Cannon on the climb up about 2/3 of the way up this section of the climb. We've still got plenty of riders out on circuit making the way up this climb, so let's see where those riders are and how they're going. But Cannon is on his way up. Let's jump in with the man himself with the yellow beacon. It is the one and only Russ Downing. How you doing, Russ?
Not bad. I've just actually gone through the blue banner, so yeah, about time to put the feet up.
Excellent, excellent, and definitely a very different route today. But overall impressions?
Hard.
Yeah, really. It looked tough. It looked really tough. I must admit, it looked really draggy.
Yeah, it's like you say, you know, it's like real life, you know, you go that hard on a gravel bike and it hurts. You know, you go in and off, you go onto the road on them, it still hurts. So, you know, it's just a slog all day, and it was like that. And we obviously got faster and faster, and then we were all just like, you know, on the limit at the end. We couldn't squeeze anything, and it was just brilliant. You know,
that's kind of how it's meant to be.
On the end.
Everybody sort of goes, "Oh, it's going to be really tough. It's going to be really long." But do you know what? I was really impressed with everybody, because that is a tough day. I think that's probably potentially one of the toughest we've done. And we have done more height ascent. We've done more distance. We've done quite a lot of gravel. We've done quite a lot of off-road. But that, I think, probably, if you add it all together, probably the toughest that we've done.
Yeah, you know, I think it was a good endurance block there, like an hour and 20 on the actual, you know, to the go and all that. But like, if we can do 3 laps on there, you know, we could just go 2 laps and then 1 absolutely all in, and it'd be just over an hour and 5 or something. That'd be a great bit of fun. You know, it's up and down. It's not always uphill, you know, like the Alpe d'Huez or something like that. It's really hard and mentally hard. But, you know, you can get over the climb and you get regrouping. So no, it's a good race, and you know, the spirit of the Chaingang is back. You know, Spirit. What's it called? Spirit Forest.
Yeah, definitely
so,
Spirit Forest, and I thought, yeah, I think it's really would change the dynamic, dropping it down a lap. But whether we get that same endurance, you saw people after lap 1 easing back, going, hang on a minute, we've got a lot to do here. We better be a bit smart about this and regrouping. And that was really interesting to see that reaction, that everybody thought, oh, we don't want to go mad at the front here. But whether we have a short one, whether we'll see that, will we see people just keep on pushing and really start to break it up? So really interesting to watch that dynamic. And always good to throw some tough ones. We've got some more tough ones lined up as well. We're not going to let you into that at home. But we will see when the next real big toughie is in. Russ, of course, next ride is a whole different ballgame. It's when you're going to get your big, deep carbon carburers out, isn't it? Because we're going on to a much nicer route for people like me who are a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I might get the 70 ring out on the Wahoo bike and see how that rocks.
Yeah, it is fast. We're going to Douce France. We've got the classic 2 laps in France to do, but those 2 laps are going to be fun because those 2 laps are going to take us basically with the finish. So we go up the gorge, then we come down around the fast finish in and come sprinting down into the Marina Sprint, which is tucked around a right-hand corner. It's literally a horrible finish, isn't it, to see? You've got to go really, really early, I think, on there to have a chance of breaking clear. But definitely a very fast finish and where groups profit.
Yeah, I think everyone will need to recover from tonight, but it's just a totally different thing, and that's what we like to do on the gang. We like to mix it up Tuesday and Thursday, so one hard, one easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but easier than that because that was just brutal tonight, and yeah, I surely hope I've got a beer in the fridge because I think I deserve one after that.
I think so. I think everybody who finishes tonight deserves one. Well, we're going to let you get that. Sounds like we've managed to even give you the Chaingang cough as well, which is definitely a sign it's been pretty hard today.
I don't think that's gone away for the last 6 weeks or something, but definitely, yeah. I was saying, I think someone just messaged me on direct message there, and I said I was all in. I couldn't even, like I said, I couldn't see the finish. It wasn't the dust or anything. It was just because I had my bloody eyes shut, and I was trying to dull the pain a bit and just go for it. And I don't even know what did I finish, Mr. Commentator.
You were in about, if I remember right, about 5th or 6th place. But do you know what? If you want to see where it is, Russ, you need to do what everybody else does. Watch it back on Donny Cycling YouTube channel and watch the finish because. If you ever ask me what happened in the race, I'll have told everybody, but I won't have remembered it. That's for sure, because we're always focusing, kind of trying to think 10 seconds in front. It's always dangerous.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, but what a great job, and like I said, if you want to see what you did, watch it back tonight in the morning, what a thing to do, you can relive the pain and screen grab it, cut and paste it, send it to whoever you wish. It's all there. It's all good fun.
Definitely. Well, we're going to switch.
Better than Coronation Street.
That's for sure. We're going to cut back to live. I'm just going to keep Russ just on the line at the moment, quite simply because we have got our next rider coming in to the finish, and this is going to be Stefano Borelli, one of our winners today on the Halo Week. He comes in and through the line, and we're going to jump back across because our next rider is a rider who started off on our Women's Wednesdays this year, and this is Tracy, now a regular on the Chaingang, and Tracy Seeley coming in to the finish here. Another good ride by Tracy, and going to be inside that 1 hour 45. So this is not our longest red beacon duties by any stretch of the imagination, as we see Vin Donahue come through. And Vin, great job, mate. Well done. I think we both got to say, Russ, haven't we? Our red beacons are absolutely amazing.
Like you say, yeah, I think we had some red beacons touching on 2 hours, which is a long old stint, Vin was good there doing his flybys and waving to us as he went the other way and getting in and out of the mix, and it was all good fun. But Stefano Borelli there's got a few pounds hanging out of his back pocket, I think there. And congratulations, mate. And Tracy, there she's is it second or third time on the Open Gang? I've seen her on the.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's third time on the Open Gang, if I remember correctly. Obviously, can't keep track of absolutely everybody. And a rider who has joined the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, really got into the whole DCG culture, and great to see Tracy now rolling down that hill. She's got time to get some more drops points in to buy some more kit for wherever we go randomly next time, and we need you to buy a different bike on the way through.
Yeah, see where we can go with that. The Serpentine 8 is always a good one, isn't it? We have to best one there is a mountain bike, I think, and that seems funny. The first time I went there, everyone was getting all nervous. What bike will we ride? So it was good fun to have the DCG with all the old flat bars on board, which good fun, and I hope everyone's enjoyed it tonight. I definitely have, and yeah, let's. Rest up tomorrow and then go again Thursday. So, yeah, chapeau everyone.
Yep, definitely. Well, I'm going to let you get off, Russ. have a cold one.
I hope there's one still left in the fridge.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. Cheers, Russ. So great to catch up with Russ at the end of the ride. You can just see Tracy on her way down the slope, just being tracked here by Vin, Donny Hughes. So run down. Remember, all of the rides finishing with a warm down. Lots of riders are going to need to spin the legs out after tonight's ride and roll that way down to the bottom. Some amazing riding tonight. Gotta say, big thank you to everybody who's ridden. Definitely was a tough one. We did give a heads up to quite a lot of people when we warned you where we were going. We said it was going to be one of the toughest. A massive thank you to Halo. Halo-ween only possible because of Halo wheels. Make sure you go on the website. Support the people who support your sport. Josh and all the team at Halo supporting us on the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club extra discount. And of course, just as importantly, we've got the great giveaway. So we've already given £50 of vouchers to go to Maz. We've got another £100 going to Stefano. Who is going to win that £200? Well, make sure you tune in early to the Downey Cycling YouTube channel. Set it to subscribe and catch up with who is going to take away those £200 worth of goodies. We've got a massive run of giveaways on the way into Christmas, and really looking forward to say thank you to everybody who's a member of the DCG gang. So from me, Matt Payne, from Russ, our red, and from our yellow beacon, and from our red beacon, as you can see beside me, have a safe couple of days. We'll catch you again on the Donny Chaingang on Thursday for the next Donny Chaingang live on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel.